right, here we go. Matinee edition of Knicks Post Game Live presented by Prizepicks. Knicks going for 3 in a row after a monumental win down in South Beach. The Knicks kids would take their act to the Motor City to take on, a rising Detroit Pistons team. Not your typical doormat. They have been playing well, led by Cade Cunningham, led by Sadiq Bey and company. So wasn't going to be a cakewalk whatsoever. And you know what? This game certainly started off that way as the Knicks had it clicking on all cylinders, offensively, defensively. They brought the effort and intensity. The return of Julius Randle, we will talk about that. But in the second half, Pistons came back. They charged back a 32-point third quarter, had the Knicks on their heels, and we would have a dogfight in the fourth quarter. Well, once again, solid play by Emmanuel Quickley, some timely buckets by R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and a clutch offense and defensive play by Mr. Fourth Quarter, Alec Burks, to seal this thing 104-102. You know I had to get that in.
I knew it.
Burks,
I knew that was
Burks
coming.
High is alive.
As soon as I saw that steal, he had a major three at the end. I was like, I know CP is going to be hyped to talk about this.
Would not go quietly into the night. 104-102. Knicks escape out of the Motor City. CP the franchise here. Alex Rattars on the ones and twos. Knicks now 33-42 on the campaign. And let's start it off with the return of Julius Randle, whose return drew a lot of angst amongst the fan base. We were going at it, the Hatfields and the McCoys, after an outstanding win over the Miami Heat. Julius came back in, and look, I thought we got back to a much slower pace, more iso ball, lackluster offense, very little flow in the game, especially started off. Julius finished with 20 points, 7 boards, 5 dimes, 2 steals on 7 of 18 shooting. And I thought it got us in trouble, especially in the second half, because, when we came out gangbusters in the first half, we've seen this story before. Knicks come out with energy. They come out with more chemistry, especially in the first half. You had Obi and Quickley running and gunning in the second quarter, really pushing the pace for us and playing well on both ends. So you wanted to see what was going to happen in the second half and how the Knicks would respond to the Pistons coming with more energy, more pride, and playing harder on the defensive end. And the third quarter, we wilted. I thought part of the problem was, once again, the offense stifling, stymied down to, boiled down to ISO. Pass it off, your turn, pass it off, your turn, ISO. I don't even think RJ barely even touched the ball in that third quarter. But again, luckily enough, Quickley, who's continuing his hot streak. As I said, there is no more confident player right now than Emmanuel Quickley, who finished with 18.6 boards, 3 dimes, was big in terms of holding off the Pistons in the fourth quarter. I thought RJ, despite not having a good shooting night, I thought his drives were very effective on his drives. He was finishing both hands, showing that ambidexterity, using his body very well. Now, he didn't have it going in the three-pointers and the mid-range. 7 of 18 wasn't the most efficient night, but I thought RJ was still effective. And again, the last play, or the last key offensive play for the Knicks, they're up 101-100. Give credit to Thibs and the players for executing an out-of-timeout play where RJ had it. He drove around the baseline. He got stuck, got it to Quickley. Quickly fed it to Julius. Julius made a quick decision, drove, found it to Burks, who relocated to the corner, executed with a clutch 3. And that was the key play of the game there. And then Burks gets the steal on Cade to seal it for the Knicks. So that was all she wrote, man. What were some of your key takeaways from this game?
Going into this game, I knew it was going to be a little tough for this team. First thing I noted to myself is that once Julius Randle came back, I was looking to see how the first unit would be playing because, the offense has been moving at a faster pace. The ball has been moving a lot more freely. There hasn't been a lot of isolation plays when he's been out of the lineup. And when he came back, you started to see that he was making there was a point to make sure he was getting his touches, and it was going back to ISO Randall, trying to get that two play between him and Evan Fournier, the 2-man game. And it's not crisp, it's not smooth. We've seen that all season, but these guys battled Julius for, even though he didn't have a good shooting night, he did play with intensity for most of the game. There were times he was getting caught sleeping on defense, as you saw with the Marvin Bagley.
Bagley was going through that, man, all night. Bagley was destroying Julius all night, man, all night. Let's keep it a buck.
Absolutely. No, he was. And just shout out to Bagley, too. He's been playing a lot better since he's been in Detroit, too.
Yeah. Change of scenery is certainly helping him.
For sure. But outside of that, like I said, this game was going to be easy. The Pistons have only lost by 6 points at max in the last 9 games. All right. And they've beaten the Hawks by 21 points. They beat the Magic by 14. And within that time of stretch where they lost by no more than 6 points to the Miami Heat, the LA Clippers, the Cleveland Cavaliers. So this team has a lot of pride, as you pointed out earlier. This team is tough and gritty. We saw that today. It was not going to be an easy matchup for anyone. These guys have a lot of length. They're big. When you have Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Stewart in the paint, you see it wasn't really a good day for Mitch. Mitch was still active on the boards, as well as Jericho Sims, but you saw that the centers really couldn't get involved to the standpoint where anyone can get a lot of points between him and Jericho. But you saw RJ, Randall continuing getting downhill, trying to draw the fouls. Both of them were getting to the line a good amount, which kept this team in this game. You had RJ going 6 of 7 from the free throw line. You wish Randall could have gotten more than just 50%, went 4 of 8, but that's the way that this team kept it in. But Emmanuel Quickley, once again.
Quick. Put some respect on Quick's name. I see a big-time Quickley hater in the chat, man. He goes by the name of Sherwin M. Oh, man, that guy was hating on Quickley since last year. Sherwin, show yourself in the chat because Quickley is playing ball. I don't want to hear he's not a point guard, he's not this. I don't care what position you want to put him in. He is a lightning rod for this team, and he's continuing to get better. And as I said, there's no more confident player right now on this team than Emmanuel Quickley right now.
Absolutely. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. And you saw today, what I like from Emmanuel Quickley is that with the second unit, I think he had 12 points in the second quarter when he came in with the second unit and just helped get that 20-plus point lead on the Detroit Pistons, right?
Yep.
But the thing that I noticed most is that he was directing traffic and getting everyone into their spots much better than we saw him from the beginning of the season. That is a big development in Quickley's game. I really like seeing that. And I think he could have had a lot more assists if his teammates outside of Obi Toppin were actually finishing some of their shots. Deuce McBride went 0 for 6 today, 0 for 5 from 3, but was still playing intense defense. But you need guys like him to hit their shots. RJ wasn't really hitting his shots when he was getting the ball to RJ Barrett. Even Julius Randle was hitting his shots. So Quick, I felt I could have had more assists today, but it wasn't a great shooting night for the entire team as a whole. They only shot 40% together, 34 for 85, 31.7% from 3. But I thought Emmanuel Quickley, as well as Obi Toppin, because Obi Toppin got 17 minutes today, 2 more minutes than his season average.
Okay, so Thibs gave y'all 2 more minutes. Okay, all right.
But he went 4 for 6 today, 0 for 2 from 3. But you see the energy that Obi brings when he gets on the court. Like I said earlier, Randall, when he gets in the game, it's a lot of ISO, slow ball, a lot of half-court sets. Obi's looking to get out in transition, and that, especially when they gathered that 20-point lead, it was because of Obi Toppin's ability to push the pace, and Emmanuel Quickley improved playmaking to find Obi Toppin as well. And shout out to Ariel Pacheco for this, because he tweeted out, he said, Obi was struggling when we lost D Rose. And he pointed out today saying, because of Emmanuel Quickley now getting into a good rhythm and becoming a better playmaker, Obi's gotten activated yet again. No, so shout out to Emmanuel Quickley, shout out to Obi Toppin. Those 2 guys, especially today, deserve their kudos for how they played.
Which is why Quickley's role right now, I said it on Twitter yesterday. I said, look, I'd always been advocating for Quick to start, especially over Burks. I just felt like it made the most sense. And when we're talking about evaluating our players and seeing what they have long term, I'd like to see him with RJ and Julius. But I kind of understand, with no Rose off the bench, again, you need that lightning rod. And it seems like Quickley's now kind of taking over for Rose in that regard, where he's running that second unit and running it very well, and then he's closing. Close the game out again tonight. Close it out against Miami. Quick is he's being utilized in a multitude of ways, and he's just absolutely terrific. Once again, 18 points for Quick, 6 boards, 3 dimes for him, and you even saw there was a sequence during the second quarter where you saw Quickley with the tablet, going through some plays with Sims, McBride, Obi, going over some plays with him. No Grimes today, out with knee soreness on the right knee. We've been saying he hasn't really looked great moving with the leg. Obviously not a specialist myself, but just didn't seem like he's been moving too well on it. They rested him today with a sore right knee. So, McBride, Obi, Sims Quickley had to account for a lot of the bench production. And even though, you got his 17 minutes, I thought Obi was very efficient in those minutes and very effective. I thought he was solid on both ends of the floor today, giving the bench unit a much-needed spark, giving them that energy, especially in the second quarter, getting out like a speed demon in transition, man. And good job by the Knicks finding him. They also would, he would get down there and find himself matched up with a guard. Exploit the mismatch, go to work, get some easy buckets. Then he had a filthy drive in the lane where he got the reverse dunk, which was ridiculous. So I thought, again, it's going to be disappointing not seeing him get above the 20-minute mark. As long as Julius is here, this is just how it's going to go down. Decisions have to be made. We know this. We've been saying this every show. But in his short minutes, I thought he was effective.
For sure. I think the one thing I want to point out is that I know Randall came back from injury today, but you had RJ Barrett leading the team with most minutes being out there. Thibs made it a priority to make sure that he was out there. I think Thibs is recognizing how important RJ is. And I like, once again, it goes back to seeing how he's staggering Randall and RJ. I really just enjoy seeing RJ out there with the young guys, having Quickley, RJ, Toppin, Jericho, McBride out there today when they gathered that 20-point lead. You just see a lot of energy. You just see everyone's ready to run out there, and it helps when RJ is able to be that guy just attacking the lane and opening it up for everybody else. So I think you just got to point out seeing that it's looking that RJ is becoming a focal point of this team, even though I don't like that these, and you talked about earlier, I don't like these stretches where we just don't get him the ball and like we purposely focus on somebody, especially Randall getting his touches. It shouldn't be focusing on anybody. It's because that's where you start to see the lack of rhythm for the entire team. We saw today how the 20-point lead just dwindled down to 2-4 points. And it's because you're trying to look for somebody to get into rhythm. And they were just trying to force Randall to get into rhythm. He wasn't feeling it today. First day back off of injury. Just let the ball naturally flow. You don't need to get anyone all their touches. So I wish Thibs would just move away from that, because I think then you could start seeing a more organic, natural ball movement, and that would just help this team a lot better. And it would eliminate a lot of these just third quarter woes where teams are able to get back into it because they just know how to game plan. It's like, oh, okay, you're just going to keep giving it to Randall. Then we just know that every single possession is going to be Randall, and we'll be ready to, stop him, double team him, fluster him, do whatever we can. So just got to make those type of changes moving forward.
Way too predictable, man. Shout out Joe Dino, $5 super chat, says Bagley better chill with that poster on Julius. He's about to get a tweet. Shout out Joe Dino. Shout out to Iris Cox, $5 super chat as well. Definitely appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, we are less than 100 subscribers away from the magical 50K. We can do that right now. The power is in your hands. There's over 1,000 people in here watching us live. Number one show for the fans by the fans. No surprise there. But the power is in your hands, people. Hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell. Let's get KnicksFanTV to 50,000 subscribers today. Do not delay. I said we were going to get it before the end of the month out. We coming up on it. We right here.
Getting close. We're
right here. Hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Let's go. I'm still working on the ultimate giveaway for 50K. We got a big one planned. Shout out to Olivia, my marketing manager on the team. Me and Olivia are in the lab working on the 50K giveaway because it's going to be a blockbuster. So definitely stay tuned for that. Other game notes, I thought Sims, man. Sims continues to be impressive to me. I just like his defense. Again, 8 boards in 19 minutes is becoming a very, very efficient rebounder to help Mitch, who chipped in with his 9. Knicks beat the Pistons on the boards 50-37. But with Sims, man, just his activity on the defensive end, he's really starting to show his range in terms of his coverage on the court. His recovery when he's trapping on the pick and rolls or he's doubling the perimeter players to get back and help on rim protection, snatch a rebound. Sims is really been impressing me, man, and he's really benefited from we haven't even heard any injury updates of Nerlens Noel, man. Where is Nerlens, man?
He's chilling, bro.
What's Nerlens doing, man? He's
chilling.
Hopefully he's getting
don't matter. Don't want take all the time.
Take your time. Take your time. Get a hand transplant. Get rest up for next year. You know what I mean? Just slip into a body cast and just put yourself on ice until next year. But Sims has been playing, bro. Sims has been playing, man. Give him credit. Kid looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the last, let's see, trying to get this right here. In the last, that ain't right. I'm trying to look for the right stats in the last couple of games, but I don't know why my computer's messing with me right now. But anyway, no, the one thing I do like about Jericho, it's actually a blessing to have 2 centers right now that are so mobile that can guard the pick and roll and that provide that rim protection like Jericho and Mitchell Robinson. You don't really miss a beat when either one is on or off the court. They're very interchangeable at this point. I know there's been conversations in the Twitter streets amongst Knicks Twitter on whether or not Mitchell Robinson is expendable because of Jericho Sims' rise. I'd like to get your takes on that. I don't know if you want to do it today, but we should definitely hear what thought process is. I would like to keep both of them, but honestly, if you're thinking about a sign and trade to get a point guard like Jalen Brunson, it's going to involve Mitchell Robinson. It doesn't hurt as much knowing that you have this type of potential in Jericho Sims. Yeah, those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, my take is at St. Peter's getting that work right now. What do you expect? They did their thing. My perspective is, I would love to keep him. I think they can afford to keep him, and again, if they need to trade him down the road, I think they can do that in some sort of sign and trade. At the same time, I think they should be active in terms of looking for a sign and trade now to see how they can use that asset to upgrade this team, whether it's at the point, whether it's additional wing depth, what have you. I think they should, because again, where the Knicks are cap-wise, it's these type of maneuvers that's going to get them the upgrades on the team outside of the draft, right? So, forget free agency. You're not getting Noel and Burks off on a salary dump. You're going to have to take back equal salary. You may have to take back longer-term contracts. So Mitch is your most valuable piece right now that you can use to kind of, get you some upgrades here. So I'd love to keep him, but, certainly explore all avenues because I still think he's going to go to the highest bidder. I don't think he'll be loyal to the Knicks one way or the next. I think he'll go to the highest bidder as he should, as he should. A big man like that, you just don't know how long they'll last in the league. Go get your money and take care of yourself and your family for sure.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I mean, he's been, Knicks have had him on a discount for so long that it's his time to get paid. So totally understandable in that regards. But the last 2 games is what I want to get to. Last 2 games, Jericho Sims has been averaging, this is before today's, 7.5 rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds, 2.5 offensive boards. You just dominant, man. Just dominant for a guy who's been playing, going back and forth between the G League, sticking his time on the bench. You see that he's getting better. We saw this type of production from him in Summer League, even though he would miss some box outs, he would miss some rotations, but it seems like he is getting, the Thibs always preaches the magic is in the work. So whatever he's doing, you see that he's getting better over the course of time, especially with the more game repetitions that he gets, especially against good competition too. Like we saw him against Bam Adebayo, working against Isaiah Stewart, Marvin Bagley. Those are no easy guys
Yeah.
to just go up against, especially when you got Marvin Bagley in his bag today.
Yeah, yeah, and he's strong. You're not gonna muscle. You're not gonna out muscle him. You're not gonna move him. And also, I just think growth and development from a standpoint of earlier when he was getting minutes, you would see him at times be out of position. When the defense breaks down, sometimes he would find himself out of position, and you blow a play here or there. But he's been pretty solid, man. He's been very disciplined as the season has progressed. Again, I don't know if that's a Kenny Payne thing, Thibs, watching film, or just overall just working hard on his weaknesses. But shout out to Sims, man. He's been very, very impressive over since he's gotten consistent minutes. Been very impressive since he's gotten those consistent minutes for sure.
He's got the highest box plus minus in the last 2 games with 12.5. No one's even close to that. Next highest person would be Emmanuel Quickley with 8.5.
There you go. There you go. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP and Alex here on the 1s and 2s. Knicks get a 104-102 win over the Detroit Pistons. Call us up, man. Hit us up on the KnicksFanTV Discord, or you can call the number 657-383-1509 is the number to call. Give us your thoughts on tonight's win. If you want to talk Mitch Sims, you want to talk, what you're mad about with Tom Thibodeau today, this is the place to do it. Air out your grievances, Thibs took a shot at the fans, Al. Said the naysayers, I think he was talking to us, man. I think
definitely was talking to us.
Yeah, I think
I could say that we also watched the game multiple times, not just once.
he said we're not studying, we're not studying the games. So, and then Berman, threw more gasoline on the fire by mentioning Nick's Twitter in his post comment.
Oh yeah, Berman's got the long wooden spoon ready to stir that pot wherever he's from. Don't worry.
Classic Berman, man. Classic Berman. So, that's just what it's gonna be, man. In a season like this, when not so much winning, a lot of issues going on, and a lot of work to do in the off season. We'll just see where it all goes and how it all pans out. We got North Carolina up 44-20. It looks like Carolina and Duke on a collision course in the Final Four, which would be very, very interesting. This show is also presented by Prizepicks, ladies and gentlemen. Prizepicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. And Al, one thing I was disappointed in is I did not get home in time to do my Prizepicks for the Knicks game.
Oh, man.
And there were 2 picks that I liked. My stone cold lock for this game, which Prizepicks had, and I was just a second too late. Quickly over 12.5 points. They had Quickly's number at 12.5.
Oh man,
that's a
that
lock.
would have been a lock.
That was a lock. Yeah, 12 at the half. That was a lock. And then I went with I liked RJ's free throw number again over 5. They set it at 5, which was high, but I just felt like he was just continuing to be aggressive, even with Julius coming back. Finished with 6, going 6 or 7 from the stripe. So those are the 2 picks I liked. I just didn't get it in time.
Yeah, the RJ one at 5. He's been getting to the line. Don't get me wrong, and he's been shooting well. But that's a little too high especially in a game like today where the rest were kind of inconsistent. Like they were letting them play for most of it, but there was some inconsistent whistles. I would not have necessarily gone with that one, even though you have RJ right now in the last 8 games making 6.5 of his free throws. That still would have been on the brink. I've been sweating if I took that one. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thibs was going at us crazy. Silver Surface said, yeah, because y'all want to nitpick. Travron in the chat, Travron Johnson said he took it personal. He said he's definitely talking to us in the chat. I took it personal. So, yeah, man, Thibs snapping back at us here in the chat. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out. Definitely want to shout out our regulars in the chat. I see Blue Cheer in here, Troy Flett, Junior Caroma, Anthony Parasol, Corey, what's going on? See a lot of the regulars, man. Michael Maldonado, JJ, how you feeling? KG7 full. Oh, always in here. Russell Reed. The chat regulars, man. East Blue Drew, Rome in here. J Boogie, what's good? TM, what's good? Cynthia in here. We got Hot Dorito, Shaheed. All the regulars in here, man. Gatsby, how you feeling? JT Riddick. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell as we continue on. But again, back to the Prize Picks, man. If you guys want to try it home, go to prizepicks.com, enter promo code KFTV. They will match your deposit of up to $100. Even though I did not get my Knicks pick in, all of my plays don't start until now, actually. So I have Joel Embiid under 46.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Sixers visiting the Phoenix Suns. I have Karl Anthony Towns under 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Timberwolves taking on the Celtics. I just feel like the Time Lord is going to get the best of them there. I got Tobias Harris under 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Again, Sixers versus the Suns. And then I took the Spider Mitchell over 26.5 points. Dallas, the Jazz playing Dallas. And then I took Spencer Dinwiddie over 13.5. So let's see how that all plays out. Okay, I see a call in here in the queue. I'll wait for Edgar to go ahead and finish screening that. Oh, let's get to our guy, man. We haven't heard from our guy in a minute. Let's get to him right now. Mo Ballin, Mo from Australia. Mo, how you feeling, man?
Good. I missed you guys. Sorry, it's been work. You guys always do a great show, so I always catch up after work and look at the replays. So a lot of thumbs up to you guys. And you know, there's always some times that I go, I don't agree, but you know what? You guys are one of the most respected media outlets that I listen to when it comes to basketball. So
yeah, man.
Appreciate it, bro. I really love the you guys have. Look, all I was going to say out there is I know there's been a lot of criticism about Thibs, and there's duly so, and nothing to add because you guys have covered a lot of that topic. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I'd like you guys to sort of maybe bring to the fore is roster construction and how it has really played into this season and how it will look like in the next season. Because I don't think the front office takes enough responsibility. Leon Rose has been very, very quiet. I don't know. I'm in Australia, so I don't know if you guys are hearing things, but I don't hear nothing. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be the key to the success of the team. I think firing Thibs next season, I don't think it's a low probability. I think it'll be the season afterwards if he doesn't sort of get a team that is built. I mean, that's been sort of like, I think one of his press conferences, he did say that. He was, you know, I don't have a point guard. Mm-hmm. But once he gets all the tools and all the pieces, if there is no success and it continues, I can definitely see him out.
Yes.
But what is the roster composition going to look like next year? Would love to hear your thoughts.
Yep. Appreciate the call, man. Good to hear from you. Mo from Australia. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Yeah, look, I think, again, the front office has a job to do this off season when you look at the fact of, you know, the guys who they brought in didn't work. So first order business is evaluating those guys. Who do we bring back? Who do we look to trade? If I'm Leon, I look to trade Noel. I look to trade Burks. I'm keeping Fournier. Rose, I'm open to trading. I'm open to trading Rose. So those three right there, I'm open. Kemba, gone. Right? So off the rip, I'm open to trading 3 out of those 4 guys, and even Rose. I don't mind if they trade him if they can get something in return. Got to address the point guard situation. Is Quickley a candidate to move into that slot? Do they go through the draft? Doubt it. Do they go through sign and trade? That's the only option. It's Quickley, sign and trade. Is it Brunson? Is it Brogdon? Is it Sexton? Is it a name out there that we're not clear on? But I think one thing is for sure is that person. See, the tricky thing is about the point guard, Al, is that I think you can make a case for someone who is a bit more ball dominant, someone who you can put the ball in their hands and they can make a play for you when things break down, or the shot clock is breaking down, or the defense is boring down on you. But you could also make a case for, because of, you know, RJ and yes, Julius showing an ability to create for others while they have that ball. You could also make a case for a guy who is a better off-ball target. You know, that's going to help spread the floor for you, defend on the other end. Yes, still make plays when he needs to, but not as the traditional point per se. I think you can make a case for both. But nevertheless, that has to be addressed. And then I think the wing position has to be addressed. I like Fournier. I'd rather him off the bench. You got to figure out what you're going to do with Cam. Are you going to trade him? Are you going to keep him? But I think in his evaluation, that length and that size at the wing can help us not just create on the offensive side, but defensively. I think that's important, man. Because as much as Fournier is given with the threes and the shooting, he's taken away a great deal defensively. We're not versatile in the starting unit defensively as we were in previous years. I think that's important. So if it's gonna be Cam, I'd rather see him start. If it's not gonna be Cam, you gotta address it. Free agency, draft, sign and trade, whatever the case may be. But we need versatility at that wing spot, especially on the defensive end. So those are my top 3 orders of business.
Yeah, I agree with you. That would probably be I'd go in that same direction. Although things that would change, like I think Burks needs to go because I think he's probably the most valuable player that you have, because if you use him as his traditional role as a 7th, 8th man off the bench with the contract that he's getting, and you see his production when he goes back into that off-ball isolation creator off your bench, he works. He's a good player. So I think you can get some sort of value for him. Noel, this is actually where I'm confused on Noel, because if we have Mitchell Robinson, who is going to be a free agent this offseason, you're potentially going to trade him in a sign and trade. If the Knicks are, as we've seen indicated, intrigued by Brunson, they want him as the point guard, then if you're going to move Mitch for him, I don't think they're going to be so quick to get off Nerlens Noel then, just because they have him on the books.
That's right.
They're probably going to keep him here and pair him with Jericho Sims, because Tom Thibodeau, as we see, he doesn't really go to the center that much to have them use their back to the basket. They're not really involved in the play. They're just really a defensive presence, being a rim protector and cleanup. So Noel did a good job of that last season when healthy. He hasn't been healthy this season. If he's healthy next season, I could see the case for keeping him around if you get rid of Mitchell Robinson, because we've also seen him in that starter's role. So it wouldn't be too unfamiliar for him. And then you have Jericho Sims, you would have to sign to a contract because he's currently on a 2-way, and that's how you solidify your center position. I am in the same boat as you as keeping Rose, but the more and more I see how I'm leaning more towards, let's see what we have on our roster with this youth. So getting Deuce McBride minutes, getting him some more consistent minutes, see how he comes into next season. And if that's the case, then you have a crossroads with him and Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose, if Tom Thibodeau is here, then he's going to play him.
He's going to lean on him too much, man. That's why I'm leaning towards just letting him go, man. So trade him in Chicago or something.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that if you want to see McBride get more minutes and you want to make the evaluation of him because he has a contract, I think it's a 3-year contract starting this season that he signed, then you have to move on from Rose, even though I'm as much as ingrained in the Rose hive as all the other Rose fans who are watching this channel right now. I think you have to move on from him and put him to a competitor like the Clippers or someone like that, and just continue with the evaluation. Fournier, probably not going anywhere, and that's fine. I'm growing to actually be fine with having Fournier on this team.
Yeah,
especially when if you're moving Burks, then if you can bring Fournier off the bench, that's fine. I think, and we know Kemba's out of here. That's no question. I think another thing that needs to be discussed is Julius Randle, because you have to think, do you want to bring this guy after this type of season with all the theatrics, everything that's gone haywire for him this season in New York? Do you want to bring him back and take that risk of seeing if he can not necessarily completely repeat the season that he had prior, but if he can still be a productive player, play off ball, contribute to winning basketball, and be fine, right? Be fine in the locker room and stuff like that. Not saying that he's causing trouble in the locker room. That's not what I'm saying. But is he going to be a good presence? Because as I discussed earlier last week, you don't want someone who's going to consistently argue with the refs, who's not going to show up for press conferences, all the other little things that indicate that you're a true leader for this team. So that's another evaluation you have to go with Julius Randle and seeing if he actually wants to be here. Is he going to be in the right mental space to compete? Is he okay putting what's happened between him and the fans behind him and just going back into a comfortable zone where he can feel like he's able to work, to play well in this city.
Yeah.
If he can't, then you got to figure out how to move. Then you got to move off of him.
Yeah. Yo, go ahead. Finish.
No, and then point guard position, absolutely. I'm a big guy, Jalen Brunson. You talk about having a traditional point guard. I think Jalen Brunson could do both. I think he can play on and off ball, which is why he's been my favorite candidate out of all the other guards that are out there. I know you've been high on Brogdon in the past, and I'm not high on Brogdon because of an injury concern. I don't want to trade for a guy who then won't be playing, and then you're without a point guard. Yet again, as we see from Jalen Brunson, he's been an Iron Man this season. And I think for most of his time in the league, he's played most of his games. So I'd rather put my money towards that. And I don't think he's going to demand the 100-some million. I actually don't think the market's actually good for him to get that. I think most NBA teams have their point guard solidified. And I think it's really between, I think if the top two candidates between New York, because he is a New Jersey native, if he wants to go back home, or being with the Mavs, the team that drafted him. There may be a few other teams out there, but I don't think it's that large where he's going to get a $100 million contract. I actually think it's going to be closer to the $80-85 million range, just because of what I see, what I'm just looking at from other teams who have a point guard. And I don't think another team wants to just sign him, try to trade somebody, and then cause more havoc just trying to figure that whole situation out. And then Cam Reddish has got to play. Cam Reddish, you traded a first rounder.
Yeah.
You have to see what he is. Otherwise, unless you're getting something crazy in return for Cam Reddish, then you wasted trading a pick for nothing. So I want to see him out there with RJ in the starting rotation. I want to see that type of youth lineup where it's the point guard who answers the question.
We need that athleticism. We need that athleticism, bro.
Yep. Cam, whether it's Randall, if Randall decides to be here, him, Randall, whoever your center is at that point. And then your bench, man. The bench where I want to see IQ, McBride, Grimes, Obi, Sims. That's what I want to see next season. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Look, man, again, you hit it on the head. The Randall thing has to be evaluated. Where is he at mentally? What's going on with him? What does he see as his role here? How does the organization view him? Will they try to sell low on him right now? Because I don't see his stock being anywhere, but low. And again, you drafted a kid with the 8th pick. He's playing off the bench. You have a coach whose philosophy prioritizes the big man, so he will not get on the court with your max player for meaningful minutes. What do you do as an organization? If they're okay with 17 minutes of Obi and okay, you be an energy guy, if that's what they want, okay.
But it's not what they necessarily want too, right? It's what does he want as a player, because next year's going to be his 3rd year of the contract.
Next year's going to be his 3rd year.
Then you're going to have a 4th year, and then you're going to have to decide, okay, after that, do you want to re-sign him? Or does he want more? Does he believe that he's more? And does someone else believe that he's more than just a bench player? This
is my point, bro. What are you getting out of that asset? Is he helping you win games? Can he help you get better players? Can he help you as a team moving forward? How does he get to do that with 17 minutes off the bench? That is a big decision they got to make, man. They've got to make that decision.
And Thibs is not the guy who's going to be playing him and Randall together.
He's not going to play them together. This is the 2nd year in a row we're seeing this now.
Yeah, and Obi's been better this season too when he's been so, and especially you just saw these last couple of games, Obi's been good, and you're telling me that in today, like, sure, you got, like I said, Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Stewart. You don't necessarily want them out there against those two guys, but even for a short stint, you don't want to test it, see what you can do, maybe have more athleticism out there, try to run these guys off the court.
Yeah. And that's right. And then finally, it's a star play. Is there a star play to be made in this offseason? I think Spiders is out of the question, but is it Zion? If they want to go that way. I don't. But if they want to go that way, do they jump into those conversations? Is he truly available? And do they try to get him? Because at the end of the day, that is what Leon is here for. That is why Dolan is still here. They want the stars.
Man, that's tough because it was Zion too. You know, if in some crazy world the Knicks actually have RJ, Cam, Zion, that they're all on the same year to get another contract extension.
Yeah. There you go.
That is crazy. I don't know. Man.
Max out the Duke, big 3-2 with injury issues, and then you got RJ. Let's go.
Oh man.
Let's go.
That's rough.
Hey.
I don't know if they wanted to put that on the books.
hey, that could be, you know, the hill that Leon is willing to die on, man. You know, that could be the hill. TJ147 says, please tell me why Spider is at the question, especially for your request to trade. Well, because we don't know anything about that. You know, yes, we've heard that there has been some dissension within the Jazz locker room. There's been rumors that they're not connected, they're not united. There's Mitchell and Gobert beef. We don't know. We have no clue. And the idea that this young Jazz owner, this brand new owner who just bought the team, is just gonna, you know, dump his prized player, the best player he's had since Karl Malone. You know, again, there's people on the other side of the negotiating table, ladies and gentlemen. You know, they will do whatever they can to keep him first. So, that, like I said, I don't think even if the Spider thing had a little bit of legs, that's a tough trade. That's a tough trade right now to make. A very tough trade.
Especially since he's this is his first year of his 5-year extension.
Yeah.
He has no leverage whatsoever. So he could say, I want to trade tomorrow. And then the Jazz can say, that's cool. We don't have to trade you.
Right.
that's
no
nice.
leverage, bro.
And then to say what? I want to go to New York. They'll say, we're going to take the best offer available for you. And if it's not the Knicks, too bad.
Yeah.
So he has no leverage.
No leverage. And I don't think they're at that point where, you know, they look at it like, okay, well, you know, he's done so much for us. He's put in so much work. We've had, you know, so many playoff losses. Let's do him a favor. Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see it. So
if he was at the career point of like Damian Lillard,
right,
maybe I could see that.
Right.
But he's not even there yet.
He's not there yet.
Legitimately just started his first year of his 5-year extension.
Right. So yeah, don't look for it, man. But we'll leave the light on for him either way, man. We are less than 75 subscribers from 50K, ladies and gentlemen. The hardest 50K ever, man. They're making us work for it now. They are making us work for the 50K. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We got way more than enough people in here to make it happen. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. So to everybody in the chat, let's we got some more phone calls in here. Let's see what the people got to say, and then I'll touch on that Quickley article after that. Let me just pull up my chat here. I got 1,000 windows open. Hang on. Darren from Georgia. Darren, what's going on, man? What are your off-season priorities looking like?
Hey, what's going on, CP? I love the channel, man.
Thanks a lot,
hear
man.
me?
Yep, loud and clear. Go ahead, bro. You good?
All right. First thing I want to say, diehard Knicks fan, originally from Harlem.
Okay, all
living in
stand
Savannah,
up.
Georgia now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, originally from Harlem. Well, what I see going on with the Knicks is I see a lot of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, waiting on you, fam.
Oh, okay. All right, my bad.
All right, man. Yo, I don't know what's going on, fam. Like, man, I'm over here watching the North Carolina game. He went from the first half to halftime to the second half. My man still didn't get his point out. I mean, fam, it's your show, fam. We waiting on you, man. Darren, you got to work with me here, man. You fan of the show, fan of the Knicks. Rapid fire, sir. You're a fan of the show. You should know. All right. That was rough. Shout out I-95 Bully, man. $20 super chat. Says, post All-Star break, RJ went from 23 usage rate to 30. Not too many players can defend at a high level with a 30 usage rate. Whatever RJ's ceiling is, he will work to reach that ceiling. That's why you give him the max. Oh yeah, I'm taking care of RJ, man. I'm taking care of RJ. I'm giving him the money. I have no problem with that. I'm giving him the money. You got to invest. You got to invest it somewhere. You can't keep waiting and waiting. Nobody's coming here. Give it to RJ. Let him continue to grow. He wants to be the man. He wants to be the captain of this team. Give it to RJ, man. He's 21 years old, putting in work. Let's go.
That's a fact. Now you pay RJ, especially. It's not just. You could argue about all the analytics, the advanced numbers, this, that, and the third about him, but there's intangibles that can't be measured, which is his leadership, his continuous work ethic, something like that sets the tone for a locker room. And because of that, that's why you give someone that type of money. I also don't, there's always a conversation of like, how do you compensate somebody and keep them enticed to continue working? I don't think RJ's that guy. I think he just wants greatness, just to be a great basketball player. So I don't think, obviously the money's nice, but I think for him, it's his legacy in the NBA. And I think he's going to continue to work for that. And he wants to be a Knick. So, he's been excited to be a Knick. He wants to be a Knick. So why not pay him?
Yeah, give him the bag. I'm giving him the bag. I don't have any issues with it. None whatsoever. So, salute to him. Again, not a great shooting night, but I still thought he was impactful in this game. Did what he had to do to get us the dub. So shout out to RJ. Let's talk about Quick. I was talking about this basketballnews.com article that they wrote on Quick. Very nice job by Ethan Fuller. And it was kind of on point because, this season, Quickley's development was in our crosshairs. We talked about it a lot on our season preview shows, how we wanted to see Quick potentially, evolve, his game evolve and get better as a second-year pro. And a lot of the responses from the panels and the guests, the most common one was developing in the mid-range, right? Because last year, his mid-range numbers were quite awful. Last year he shot 40% from two. Last year, despite shooting 40% from three, he shot 40% from two, and an effective field goal percentage of 50%, which was below average in the league for players at his position. So we were looking for that, but Quickley has continued to impress with his scoring, even though, yes, he's added a little bit of a mid-range there, but it's still a lot of floater and threes. And post All-Star break, as Ethan says here, Quickley's been shooting 40% from three, 64% true shooting percentage, with still not a lot at the rim. Still not a lot at the rim. When we talk about rim pressure and the fact that, Thibs likes that, a guy like Quick, still not shooting it there, but he's still very effective within this Knicks offense. Quickley, one of 8 players with a minimum of 800 minutes to attempt less than 15% of the shots at the rim, but more than 20 in the short mid-range. Chris Paul, Marcus Morris, Conley, Katie, Tyus Jones, Chris Middleton, and Devin Booker. So, Quick in some interesting company, man. Certainly in some interesting company. But I think he's been using the floater very effectively this year. It's been going in for sure. And I think his ability to draw contact again, given the new rules, has bode well for him and the team. So he's starting to get that back. And I think that's part of the reason why he's been so successful with the team this year. For sure.
And I think the other thing with IQ, as well as pointed out in this article, is if you scroll further down, you see his pull-up 3-point shot frequency and the field goal percentages. And if you look at them, the frequency has dropped, but the percentages have increased. So he's being more efficient and decisive and selective in his shots that he wants to take. So I think that's the maturity that comes with getting a lot of repetitions in, just continuously working at it and practicing at it. So you're starting to see that's why Quickley has been able to be effective for that second unit. But getting back to that mid-range, I mean, we discussed it this past offseason. He only took a total of 15 last season in 72 games of mid-range jump shooters. So you need to add more than that. If you want to be an effective guard, you need more in your bag. And the mid-range, like we've seen him utilize it this season, not enough. And I think that's just one, getting comfortable where you want to take your mid-range shots and being comfortable and confident in your shot. And it doesn't seem like he's always confident. Even there's games that we've seen this season where Emmanuel Quickley will have the open mid-range, but he's hesitant to take it because he's not comfortable doing it. And that's not something that he's been doing throughout most of his young career, right?
Yeah.
You know, at Kentucky, it was known for his 3-point shooting and it was known for his floater, the two top ways that he gets to the two top ways that he scores. So until he can actually effectively get a mid-range jumper, do I see him taking not only another leap, but really being an offensive threat in the NBA? Because once you have that 3-level game and you have people guessing, you can just, well, and not saying you can get to this level, but you talk about Kyrie Irving, you talk about Jamal Crawford, you talk about Lou Williams, you talk about even Dame Lillard. Those guys, it's not just 3 and driving in with a floater. It's we can do it all, and we pick and choose win based on what the defense gives us. So for Quickley, he's just limited in what the defense gives him. I will say, though, he's been better at finishing with layups and being selective when he's taking it. So he's done a lot. He's done a lot better with that. But now it's just to add that mid-range game, and then he'll really be taking another leap in the NBA.
Yeah. And one thing, as the article points out, that makes the floater so dangerous is the ability to freeze defenders. You know, whether it's on the pick and roll coverage or your help defense, it kind of has you kind of stuck in an in-between. And when that floater's going, it's going, or he can throw it over the top, and he's been a lot better at throwing the lobs. You know, found Obi today with a filthy one. Almost found Mitch. Mitch, you know, obviously has trouble finishing, but has found Thibs in the past, and that's another area of his game that's continuing to go up. I said on the last show, you know, Quickley's assist percentage is at 21% this year, as opposed to 16% last year on relatively similar usage. I mean, last year's usage rate was slightly higher, but this year he's in the 63rd percentile in assist percentage at 21.6. We mentioned his foul drawing. He's shooting 91% from the stripe, 10% shooting foul draw rate, which puts him in the 85th percentile amongst his peers. Last year, he's in the 62nd percentile. So Quickley really at the top of the league in terms of drawing that contact. And as he said, he's been studying up with on Steph Curry, on Trae Young, Chris Paul, and seeing how some of those all-stars are doing it, man. So certainly a guy that's working on his game, and it's paying dividends down this stretch for the Knicks as they win another one, man. 104-102. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. CP the franchise, Alex Rotaros here on the track on the ones and twos. Knicks win 104-102 over the Pistons, surviving a late Pistons route. But as we said, Quickley chipped in with 18 points. RJ, some timely hoops. Julius as well. And then my guy Burks sealed it with a 3 and a late steal over Cade Cunningham. So that's where we stand, ladies and gentlemen. That is where we stand. You have Charlotte and the Nets playing. I'm not sure what time that game kicks off. I think it might be after 7. So we'll see. 8 games left.
7:30.
7:30. So we're down to 8 games or 7 games after this one. We are down to 75. 7 games left.
7. Oh, okay.
7 games left. 5 games back. Yeah. not looking so great. But yeah, like I said, at this point, you just want to see the young kids continuing to contribute. And hey, if they win, they win. I think the draft is pretty much. Odds are the draft selection is pretty much going to be locked in around 11, 12. So
yep.
Checking
Tankathon right now. We're locked in for 12th. We're at the 12th spot.
12.
So yeah.
All right. It just means well pairing and we got some work to do. We got some work to do. Shout out to Cynthia. Cynthia, everybody was loving the closing call on Friday's show. Cynthia closing the show on Friday. Everybody was loving it. I posted that one up on the Instagram. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram at KnicksFanTV, at CP the franchise. Al, what's your IG?
Same as my Twitter, man, at Tradacaster101.
At Tradacaster101. So make sure you guys are following us there. Cynthia's Super Chat says, hit that subscribe button, fam, for the #1 show for the fans by the fans. Let's hit 50K tonight. Shout out CP, Alex, Edgar, all the mods, and Knicks Nation. Yeah, let's get to it, people. Let's get to it. How many subscribers we got right now? I'm telling you about, man, the people really trying to make us work for this tonight, man.
They really want us to work, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
What happened to being just polite, man?
Yeah.
What happened to just being polite?
We are at 9:34. We're at 34, so we got 66 left. 66. If there are 66 people of the 1,200 people in this chat, if there are 66 of you who have not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell as we speak. It is simple to do. It's right under this video, whether you're watching on the phone, watching on a tablet. It is right under this video. Hit that subscribe button. 66 people. Go ahead and hit it, and let's get it going, man. #1 show for the fans by the fans. And we'll go to Hassib is King on the Discord. So Hassib, what's going on? How you feeling? Hassib, going once. Hassib, can you hear? All right, Hassib, hang tight. Let me restart the Discord. I see your audio levels are going, but I don't hear anything. So let me restart the Discord. Hang tight. 66 people. Let's go. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. All right, let's see if we get Hassib now.
CP, do you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Let's go.
Hey, CP. Hey, Alex. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Anyway, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I want to see that 50K tonight, man.
Yeah.
We've been waiting all week for this, man. But real quickly, some thoughts on our off-season plans. I think you guys nailed it right down to the park.
Mm-hmm.
We got to offload on some of these veterans. Definitely want Noel out. Burks, that has to go too. D-Rose, I think that has to go as well. I think a team desperate for any contribution point guard, like the Lakers, for example, would probably take him. And Randall absolutely has to go. After watching today's game, just seeing just how slow the offense is and how stagnant it becomes with Randall on the floor, he has to go, man. It is obvious. And I might get a lot of tomatoes for this, but I think Thibs should come back next season because if we have a fully young team with our rookies and second-year players, as well as Cam Reddish, I think people wouldn't be that mad at Thibs as they would have been this past season. I'm not going to defend Thibs for some of the boneheaded plays that he's called out or coaching substitutions that he's done all season, but I think that if Thibs was playing our young cats more, people wouldn't be that mad at him to begin with. So just let me know you guys' thoughts on keeping Thibs. And if we have a fully young team, how will the fans, view him? But have a good one, guys, and enjoy your Sundays.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. Look, you guys know my take. It's just what it is. I've noted all the flaws. I've been lockstep with everybody on the flaws. I just think, for the continuity, consistency purposes, I'd like to keep him. I'd like to see how is there a window for adjustments? Yeah, they say, Tiger doesn't change his stripes, can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think if you construct a roster accordingly, I think he'll have to get on the same page. But they've got to get to the table. All parties involved. Leon and the front office, if it is indeed their desire to see these young kids playing, they've got to get on the same page with the coach. There's nothing else to be said. If they plan to keep him, then they got to get on the same page. Again, the Cam thing, if he's not going to play, now you wasted another pick. Got to get on the same page. Obi Julius, are you going to play? Is there room to play this kid with Julius? Can we see some more of it? Can we experiment some more? Can we start Cam? They got to get on the same page if they're going to bring him back, as the reports say they are. So, and if they do bring him back out, my whole thing is like, if they're going to bring him back, I just can't live and die on every decision or non-decision that he makes, man. Like, for 82 games. Like, I can't do it. I understand. I see his flaws. I understand his flaws. But I got to concentrate on the players that's on the floor and how they're playing.
Yep.
That's my thing.
And for me, I discussed this earlier numerous times on my pod, whether it's like between who do you bring back if you had to choose one between Randall and Thibs. And I keep going, I'm going to choose Thibs and then move Randall just because I want this front office to force Tom Thibodeau's hands. I think Thibs would actually be fine for a bunch of young guys wanting to play basketball the right way. And I think if you just remove guys who either one are ball stoppers, as we see like Julius Randle comes back in there, a ball stopper, as we've seen throughout most of the season, like you'd have to revert back to last season where he was playing team ball. And we haven't seen most of that this season.
Yeah.
So I want buy-in from like all the front office Thibs to just go with the youth, develop the youth, and you got to force his hand. This is a coach who is stuck in his ways. He's going to play his veterans. He's going to play the guys that he believes will bring him the best potential winning, even though we've seen the young kids can give you something. So force his hand, have him play the kids, and that's it. And, that's all you can ask for. The good thing is that he's not the GM like he was out in Minnesota.
That's right.
He's not going to go crazy trying to trade for Jimmy Butler. They'll listen to him, and they'll try to make him happy in some sort of way. But you also have to force his hand as well and start having him play the young kids.
Yeah. Well said, man. Absolutely well said. So to everybody in the chat, if you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We will shout you guys out. And also throw your cities in the chat. Throw your cities and your flags in the chat. Let us know where you're checking in from. I know these matinee shows are always good for our friends over across the pond. So shout out to everybody in the UK, France, our Germany squad, Austria. Everybody in the land down under, Australia, what's going on? Salute to you guys, man. Appreciate everybody's support. All the Knicks fans worldwide. Jamaica, salute. Everybody out in the Caribbean. All day. 60 people away, ladies and gentlemen. 60 subs away.
Really making this work.
Oh, they're making us sweat today, man. They are making us sweat. I'm trying to find like a subscribe button here on my phone, but it won't work for me. 60 subscribers away, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell. In the meantime, let me salute HP Carlos checking in from Portugal. Always in here checking in. Shout out Busy, team hashtag new. DJ Edsy, London, stand up. David M, Columbus, Ohio. We got Croatia Knicks. Salute to Croatia for sure. Self-made, team hashtag new. Self-made, how you feeling? Corey Mitchell in here. Russell Reed, repping JA as usual. Dermot Morris, a lot of Jamaican flags in here. Let's go. We got Dwayne Freddie Hubert, Port St. Lucie. So maybe he's going to spring training. I want to do a spring training one of these days, man. I'm gonna do a spring training, a little circuit.
Go down to Florida, go watch the Knicks play.
Yeah, I want to do a little spring training, man. Haiku homie, what's going on? Yeah, man. We got Muriel James repping JA. Let's go. J Cal in the chat. J Cal, how you feeling? Kenny Gales, team hashtag new. How you feeling? All right, let's do a refresh. Justin Baptiste from Honolulu, Hawaii. Okay, let's do a refresh. So we have 1,200 in the chat. And we need we need 58 more subs. I wonder if this is just YouTube like trailing here. There's no way.
Or is everyone actually in here subscribed already?
Or is everyone in there actually subscribed? I mean, that could be the case as well. Or I don't know. Maybe YouTube is trailing here because I can't understand 1,200 people and only 2 subscribe since we announced. There's no way. There's no way. You should be able to
trailing.
You should be able to stumble
breaking the algorithm
50.
over here.
Yeah, I think we cracked the algorithm. I think that's what it was, man.
But anyone who needs to know, you just gotta close this chat.
Yeah.
Press that X button.
Yeah,
I'm subscribed. Obviously,
button.
I'm subscribed, but there's a subscribe button right there.
Hang on. Let me get to your screen. Go ahead.
You gotta close the chat, and there's a subscribe button right over here. See, I'm subscribed.
Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, man. Let's go. Jamaica Queens 2022 says subscribe, y'all. Hit that button. It's just one press. Where else are you getting quality Knicks content alongside fan participation? Yeah, that's right. You get post game. You get insiders. You get interviews. And working on some more content to add to the mix, man. This is one-stop shop for the diehard Knicks fan, for the basketball fan. J. Cal says there is a lag. I got to think there's a lag, man. I got to think there's a lag going on here. You know, and sometimes there's a purge. Sometimes you look, you blink, and YouTube is taking away like 20 subs from it. It happened the other day.
What?
Yeah, it happened the other day, man. Sometimes they just purge. You know?
YouTube's just jealous, man.
I think so. So, you know, once we hit 50K, we got to start making some contingency plans. You know, we'll make the backup channel. We'll probably make the clips channel. Just so we have, you know, some redundancy here. You just never know. You never know with Big Brother, man. I told you guys, man. You just never know with Big Brother. That's why it's very important to also join the mailing list. Got to have that. You know, one day this thing gets wiped off of YouTube and we just lose everyone's contact. We lose it. We lose the link. We lose the community link. Mailing list is the good backup plan. So we need that. And as I said, we're going to start building in those contingency plans. Make sure we're always up and running.
And while you do that, if you go subscribe to the mailing list over at KnicksFanTV.com.
That's right.
Make sure to go check out Remy's post-game reviews.
Yep. Remy's review will be up there. That's right.
Jeff just dropped an article today for the top 3 small forwards in the upcoming draft. It's going through some heavy draft coverage. We got the point guard, shooting guards. He even had an initial one at the beginning of the season, so go check that out. You get Chip Murphy, who does a lot of some good player breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mike Charles over there doing some good work. All right. A lot of people over there are doing good work. Paul Devlin. All right. Give you
shout
some.
out to Paul.
All right. So make sure to go check out the writer. Go support KnicksFanTV.com. All right. You can also find all the videos over there as well.
Yep. And this is, I'm showing the people on the YouTube, this is the front page of KnicksFanTV.com. So this is where you'll sign up for the mailing list. You just put your name in there. You put your email. We'll send the newsletters with like links to the post game, links to Remy's recap. So you'll get those in your inbox. So it's always good to sign up for the mailing list there. We don't send any other type of spam, or we don't, give away information or stuff like that. Also, as Alex said, this is Jeff's latest article, top 3 small forwards in the upcoming draft. So you can read up on that. Won't get into it too much. Don't want to give it away, but go ahead and check that out and leave us some thoughts on that. And as Alex said, Remy's recaps, always solid. So make sure you read that as well. As North Carolina advances to the Final Four, a emotional Hubert Davis getting ready to be interviewed. I was rocking Hubert Davis. Once a Knick, always a Knick. So congratulations to him. Still want to pick St. Peter's, but they had a good run. Ultimately, the talent is going to shine through. And UNC Duke, let's go.
Hey, shout out to St. Peter's. All right, I saw this image out there today. I think it was by Front Office Sports.
Mm-hmm.
For St. Peter's basketball program, I think they said it was somewhere between 1.2 to 1.8 million that goes into that program.
Mm-hmm.
And they defeated, between Kentucky, Murray State,
mm-hmm.
and Purdue, all those teams combined have a $30 million budget. So shout out to them.
Yeah, it's
shout
big.
out to the MAC.
Yeah, it's big, and it's big for Shaheen Holloway. Who knows? Maybe he goes back to Seton Hall. Who knows? But great exposure for that school. Great exposure for the coach, and for those players who got to experience a ride like this. For sure. Shout out to Busy. $10 super chat says thoughts on Randall and 2 first, 2 seconds for Zion. I don't think we need to add more young developing talent. Build what we got. If we believe in RJ, we don't need a dominant point guard, just a 3-and-D guy. I don't think that deal gets it. Randall 2 first and 2 seconds. I don't think that gets it, especially where Randall is playing right now.
You need to give up more than that for Zion. They're gonna look for some sort of haul for Zion.
Yeah, no question.
I just can't see them letting him walk away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if New Orleans necessarily wants Randle back. They already had Julius Randle. So granted, that's a different front office and a different head coach. But
That's
do
right.
they want to take Julius? What?
No, I said that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You got to think about that too.
Yeah. Do they want Randle back? And it's going to be more than just Randle and 2 firsts. You're probably doing like 3 firsts, 3 pick swaps. You're doing Randle. If you want that, I don't even know if they necessarily want Randle. They probably look for like RJ or Quickley or someone else. They're looking for other youth.
Yeah,
they're not
that's
looking
right.
for. They're probably not looking for Randle.
That's right. If they even check it for him. So I think that makes a potential Zion pursuit difficult. So we'll see what happens there. 50 subs away, according to my dashboard here. Could be wrong. But either way, we'll read out the super chats and sign off. I got to take care of some more business offline anyway. So we'll see if we get there. If we get there by tomorrow, we'll certainly be back on and celebrate during Knicks Weekly. But great show out. Solid win, 104-102. Knicks win over the Pistons. I want to go ahead and shout out the NY Sports Guy. $5 Super Chat says, I don't like the way this team plays with Julius on the court. Yeah, it was a bit tough. It was a bit tough to see today. Look, he's a head scratcher of a player. Sometimes looks good. Other times it looks really bad. And it impacts the team both directions. You know, they've got to figure it out. With number one, how the offense is played, and number two, whether or not this guy's even what the future holds for this guy. Big decisions to be made. Shout out to I got Jamaica Queen Shells Heavy. This is 50 burger in subs. Number one show for the fans by the fans. That's a fact. Salute to Shells, man. OG viewer and subscriber. Haiku Homie says Evan Fournier, he is too inconsistent. Get him a croissant. I'm not sure how that helps, but with his consistency. But all right, hey, croissants are always delicious. Oscar De Leon says Knicks front office's draft Jeremy Sochan 10 to 15 range. I like his defense, basketball IQ. Okay. David Claudio says ship Julius, pay Mitch, and start Obi, and continue to build through the youth like the Warriors and recently Memphis. Julius brings this team to a screeching halt on offense. Yeah. Uptown Mister says, I think it would be dumb not to get the most out of Cam, at least until the All-Star break. We need talent, and Reddish has it. He just needs his chance. I'd agree there. I would certainly agree. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D, $10 super chat, throw hashtag P in the chat. Says, I'd rather see my teams get in the playoffs losing first round 5 years in a row than this sitting home watching everyone else's team and waiting for drafts in Summer League. Got zero time for losing seasons. Hey, there's a lot of people that would agree, man. What do you guys think in the chat? Are you, play to win or get into the lottery by all costs? Hubert then says, the gaslighter coach well tonight. No complaints here. Randall was his usual maddening self. Burks continues to play well when he's off ball. Yeah, that is a fact, man. That is a fact. So, great show. We will check you guys Monday for weekly. Once again, support our sponsors, manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Also go to prizepicks.com and make your picks today, tomorrow, whenever it is, man. Prizepicks.com. Play the overs and unders. Play the prop game. Use promo code KFTV when you sign up, and they will match your deposit of up to $100. Remember that the show is available in an audio podcast format. All the major podcast platforms. Never have a reason to miss it. If you miss it in video, catch it on the road, man. On your commute to work, you driving the Ubers, you driving the delivery trucks late night on the road. This is the perfect companion tool, man. Number one show for the fans, by the fans. All right, so once again, great show to the mods, great show Al, great show everybody in the chat, man. Chuck, J.